Well, I'm far overdue for a farm update. Do you guys remember a few vlogs back we planted these cucumbers in these pots? And I'm going to show you the results because worm castings, yes. Okay, so here's a few of the baby ones. There's another baby one over there and a whole bunch there. But look at this guy. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I started to measure how much this cucumber grows every day. The last 3 days, I have put a little tick on this little stand here. And look at how much it grows. Like, so this one was yesterday, like last night. And look at how much it's grown since yesterday. But look at that. Isn't it insane? And it's tacked up. I have it banded up so it doesn't fall down. So it's literally growing. Isn't that insane? Oh, hi, Reggie. Hi, Reggie. Would you like to come into the jungle? Okay, so these guys are going for it. I noticed that on here we have a few little buds of stalk trying to bud up, and they're growing really well together. But yeah, there's quite a few cucumbers. Haven't harvested any, but it is definitely taking over. So I'm thinking I might move these up there, put like a bracket with a post and a light on top, and then just kind of trellis them, like pin them to the wall. There's a bunch of pinholes in that wall already, so I'm going to think about it and see what I can do before they get too unmanageable. But look at that. We're going to have cucumbers at the wazoo. Okay, I know it's going to come up again. What variety of cucumbers are these? So I will put the screenshot of it here where I get them, West Coast Seeds. This is the specific variety because it's spelled kind of weird. And so here it is. This is the variety that these are that I'm growing in my office. And yeah, so go check it out. It's a Canadian company. So hopefully you can maybe find them in the US, or some of you are in other countries. Maybe you'll be able to find a variety like this there, but they're growing well for me. So what is happening on the farm this week? Why haven't I been keeping to a schedule and posting? I have lots going on here with seeds to share with what I'm growing. I have lots of updates to show you in the grow room, but I wanted to kind of jump on and just catch you guys up to date. There's been so many changes here on the farm of what I've been doing and services that I've been offering. My goal this year was to make my farm profitable all year round. In previous years, my flower farm was, it's a short-lived, we have a 90-day grow season, like between frost dates on best years. So my crops were really limited. My profits were really limited on the farm. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to have a business that was sustainable all year round. And I changed my focus on, just being specific of a flower farm or homestead garden. I'm trying to bring in products that I want to use and to be able to utilize them on my farm to make it sustainable to use those items and those products on the farm and in our home. I really revamped this year to very much focus on an every season type of business model, and I've been focusing my production around that to try to build it up, and hopefully by next year we have a very sustainable homestead slash farm business that I'm able to have a very sustainable business every month of the year, all year long, even though we live in northern Alberta where we have a very small window of growing seasons. So what does that look like? I talked about it before. I started subscriptions for lettuce and other products that I can make on the farm, including eggs. I have a weekly subscription, not a CSA. It's a weekly subscription. So it's like a pay per use. And I sell lettuce and I sell eggs. But I've also added in sourdough products, things that I can make. As the seasons grow, I'm learning how to grow indoors and hydroponically and aeroponically. and in soil forcing indoors. And I can do that all year round. So I can grow potatoes and store them, and then I can deliver them in the winter months. Same with carrots, things like that. It's something that I've been really focusing on. This year, I set the goal for my farm to hit the $80,000 target for sales, for annual sales. And that was my goal. This was my $80,000 year goal. And the way that things are going, I'm slightly behind because let's face it, I'd have to like make $1,500 a week to reach that goal, to make that goal achievable for my farm. And so I am slightly behind, but there are some other things that I'm doing that are helping that along. So one of the things that I really wanted is I wanted to get some very good soil. I wanted to start focusing on regenerative practices. And I not only wanted to start doing that, I wanted to share what I'm learning and how to achieve the goals that I'm reaching without using chemicals or pesticides. And so I've teamed up this year with a company that is in central Alberta, and they are a really great they really have a lot of the same goals as I do when it comes to chemical free. They definitely are focused more on the agriculture side, but they do have a home gardener side or a greenhouse side that are able to utilize their products, and that's what I'm doing. So what I started to do is I started to use their products in bulk, and then I also brought in their product line, different varieties in their product line to be able to sell to people in my community. And I've been offering that. So example, yesterday we did a delivery of sourdough products as well as lettuce and eggs door to door in our little town here. It takes about an hour to do all of our deliveries now because we have lots of new subscribers. And so in an hour, we breezed through. But one of the items that I delivered yesterday, or Chaz delivered to their door, my son, he took little 3-liter bags of worm castings, and people ordered those for their house plants and their seed starting, right? So it makes it easy. I have the product. I'm delivering weekly. Every week we're doing a delivery. Every week we're taking lettuce, we're taking, all these different things. We're taking eggs, stuff like that that's coming off of the farm year round. I'm growing lettuce year round. I'm growing eggs year round, right? And I'm making bread year round. That may change in the summer, but now I'm also offering products like worm castings or the extract teas, stuff like that, that they can get weekly, get these little batches brought in, and then I can distribute them weekly. So I still have a good profit coming in every week based on these other products that I don't have to make, but I'm utilizing those products on the farm. I'm using the same ones, which makes my costs lower because I'm able to order more in. And so that really has helped me to find a way to have those products here and to bring that in so that I can be more sustainable on my farm by creating a market of those same products and teaming up with this company. So there's been a lot of changes with that. I also, I picked up another client, and so now I have like other clients to do on freelance that I have to consider and start seeds for and grow those for. But I also have another florist that has been interested. So there's 3 florists now that are on my grow for list, and that's a big deal because it's really busy in those, between those 3. That's a lot of flowers that I have to provide. And you have to remember, our localist florist I supply in the summertime, she's able to buy everything from me, so she doesn't have to order in from her supplier. So she's getting everything from me to run her business, her flower shop. And that's a big pressure just on one florist. Now I have 3 of them to consider and try to reach those goals so that we're helping with that. It's been a big thing this year about people trying to be more sustainable on their farm. And I mean, nobody wants to pay all of the shipping fees. And, with all of these taxes that we have in place now, on top of the regular fees that we were paying before, it makes shipping very, very challenging. And, with the emissions, we're trying to cut that down. So trying to stay sustainable and make this achievable has been a big priority this year. And, just different things that I've been focusing on. So the delivery business is something that we've been training Chaz to do. He has his learner's license. And so we've been going with him, and he's been driving the routes, and he's been organizing the orders and delivering and making sure that the payments are collected, doing that as a real entrepreneur. We're teaching him how to be an entrepreneur. This is what he wants to do for a summer job or a year-round job. Because he started baseball, again, it makes it much easier for us to have a schedule that we control instead of a work schedule. And that's temporary. I mean, it's not ideal for your kid to work for yourself, for you, but he is really learning a lot and making a good income doing it. So it's helpful to him and his baseball schedule and school schedule, and sports. Like, sports take up a lot of time in a person's life, right? So it helps with that. So that's the things that have been keeping us really, really busy, is learning about that stuff. I did actually, I got to show you. It's kind of a little bit of a sad story, but it's a happy one at the same time. So I started some big trays of anemones and ranunculus. Now, my ranunculus, these are pretty much all of the ones that I started. But my anemones, out of 100, I have 1, 2, 3. I repotted them into this small tray. I have 3 of them that are actually coming up out of 100 of these anemones. And so I ran into some problems with my corms, and I am actually troubleshooting that with the supplier I have. I got these ones from, I got these anemones from Van Noort. And so I've been working with them the last couple of days to troubleshoot what could be going on with these corms. And so they've been really, really helpful and good at listening to what's been happening and trying to resolve this issue for me. But I did a test on my ranunculus, which were stored with the anemone. And so what happened is my anemone they went mushy and started molding immediately. And they were planted in the same tray as these ranunculus, but they were stored together in my car garage. And I thought, well, if they got cold, the ranunculus wouldn't be, because ranunculus are more cold sensitive than the anemone. So it's not from being too cold in how I stored them, because then the ranunculus wouldn't have come up at all. They would have mushed. And so we're troubleshooting what's going on with these ranunculus, or the anemone corms. And it could be very well my fault. It could have been how I started them. Maybe I did something wrong, or maybe there's a pathogen in the soil. So I've been examining that, but I am way behind on planting. I wanted to have my anemones in the greenhouse by now, and I'm a little bit behind with that. I do have 900 started. Some of them are Van Noorts, and some of them are unicorn blooms. So I do have some going in, but I am having still some more problems with my anemones, and I will continue troubleshooting that. So I had mentioned in other vlogs that I was going to be sharing that process with planting out my anemones into the greenhouse in January. It didn't happen because I'm having some crop failures. So we're working on it. And I need to put a disclaimer. Van Noort is an amazing company. And, I'm really grateful to have them as part of my team to help me succeed, as part of the whole system of the success of my farm. And, this will be resolved, and this is farming. Things happen. Not everything can be perfect, and they don't know. I mean, if there's a problem with something, they don't know unless you tell them, and work with them to resolve it. And so that's what we're doing. And I'm going to figure out if it's what is causing it. And, it could be the bulbs or the corms. It could be them. It could be me. It could be a combination. It could be just the year. Who knows? We'll sort it out. A little behind. It's a bit disheartening, because this is my main crop, but I'm going to figure it out. So far on the flower farm, I do have a lot of my stuff started that needs to be. I have eucalyptus started. I'm doing another round of eucalyptus today. And I also have a bunch of snapdragons that I need to do today. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to start some sage, and I definitely want to start some vegetables like peppers, hot peppers. So my focus moving forward on the farm is going to be, starting enough seeds that I can plant in my farm, but I'm also going to have like a seed sale or a seedling sale where I'm offering those in my weekly subscriptions as well. I do need to build a better system for ordering for people who are new to it. Right now, I'm just using a messaging system. It's quite a lot of work for me that I don't have time for and won't have time for in the very near future. So I'll tell you about these new products that I've been bringing in to sell. The products are an organic soil based type of product, but the primary part of it is the original product is worm castings. Now they've built these really great products like all around the worm casting products. So they have these soil blends that are amended with worm castings, and they have different soil blends that have all the things. So I use some of them things as amendments instead of having to buy a bucket of feather meal, a bucket of bone meal, a bucket of glacial rock dust. Anyone who has a market garden knows that, you buy those things as flavor enhancers to sell your produce or your, like, whatever you're selling for food off your farm. I'm also using those products to help with the hardiness of my plants. So if you've been around for a while, you know that I like to use glacial rock dust in all of my plantings to help with help amend my soil. And so you see me buy that a lot. And I usually would use like the brand Gaia Organics, and it gets kind of pricey when you're doing the volume on my farm. So what I had done for my farm to be more efficient in the costs, to be able to use something organic, to use something that was going to be in the alignment of regenerative. And I wasn't going to have to learn how to make compost well in a place that's frozen 6 months of the year. I wasn't going to have to learn how to, set up worm bins. I found a product that ticked all those boxes, and that was the Annalita products. And so they have this one product called Gold Plus, and I'm using that in all of my farm to amend my soil with. It has everything. And for those of you that know, I kind of got distracted there, but the glacial rock dust is something that's really important here in our northern climate to amend our beds with, our plants with, because now I just learned that why it's important. So I always knew that you had to put aggregates in your soil to help the plants with the hardiness of them. It helped those plants become healthier in some way. You had to get aggregates into your soil. And so I would use products like the glacial rock dust in my beds to help with that aggregate in the soil, to help get those trace minerals into the soil. One, because, they're trace minerals, it makes everything healthier. And two, the flavors, right? For tomatoes and peppers and, all of your vegetables that you're growing, it's good to add that. But what I didn't know is that the ingredient in there was zinc that was usable by the plants. And zinc is actually what makes plants more cold tolerant. So here in our northern climate, that product containing that glacial rock dust is super important to utilize here on the farm. I mean, I'm planting things that are zone 3 and we're zone 2, and we got colder than zone 2 this year. So we got colder than zone 1, basically. Like we hit really record lows in our area. So it's really nice to be able to have a product that I'm able to just use one thing, have one cost, and not have to worry about inventory, not have to worry about ordering, not have to worry about extra waste because I can get it in a tote. And I'm able to just like carry buckets of that instead of all of these plastic bags. I really wanted to have a sustainable product on the farm that I could offer to people and teach them how I'm using it and what successes I have. If you followed me last year, you had seen that I had used mycelium mushroom mycelium for wine caps to help amend my soil to get the fungi back in. Well, this soil also has that mycelium, not that one particular one, but has mycelium in there to help with the soil structure, which is really important for what I'm doing, and trying to help with my regenerative practices of not using pesticides. And so what it's able to do is able to adjust the Brix level in the plant by using these specific products on my farm. And so we had actually seen a lot of results with it last year. If you followed along, you've seen the plague of the grasshoppers, and you also seen a recovery of those plants that got plagued by those grasshoppers. Now, I learned something about those grasshoppers. The ones that were in the greenhouse this last season, the grasshoppers were sitting on my plants, like my yarrow, for example, but they weren't eating it. For the first while, they were just sitting on these plants and not eating it. And they would just sleep on them. And then when they would go to the bathroom on these plants, and then they would stress them out, because I mean, these plants had all of these grasshoppers lining them for days and days and days on end, and it stressed out the plants. And as soon as the plants started to get stressed out, they weren't healthy anymore. They didn't have that pest resistance anymore, and then they got chewed down to stubs. But after that, I used these products on them, and they rebounded. And I ended up increasing this was crazy, that particular crop of yarrow, it increased by 800% on the farm last year from the previous year. And I had a pretty good year previously of yarrow. So it was like, what just happened? I found that there was a lot of very big positives that come out of using these products on my farm for how much yields I was getting, how much profit I was getting. And, the cost of growing stuff was going down because I didn't have to walk around my greenhouse with a vacuum cleaner to vacuum off all the tarnished plant bugs and then spray everything with dish soap to stay organic. I wasn't having to do that. I was able to use a foliar spray where I needed to, feed the plants where I needed to, and just do one program kind of thing and go through, and it just kind of remedied everything on its own, just letting nature do its own thing. And so having these products has been a game changer for me. So I just really feel very passionate about bringing this product line in on the farm. We're growing and selling it alongside of what I'm doing, what I'm learning. I mean, if they suck, I'm not going to bring them in anymore. I'm not going to sell them to anybody, but they don't. They're great, and I'm loving them. And I'm finding a lot of success with utilizing this product. So I could go in the direction on my farm of making compost and selling compost myself, which probably would have a cheaper, it'd be cheaper input for me to do that. I would be able to utilize what I have on my farm and create compost. But one, I don't know how to make good compost. Two, I'm not a science biologist. I can't look at the microbes in the soil and tell if it's optimal, and to be able to have the optimal nutrients and the optimal microbes in that soil to be able to apply it at the right time. I don't have any of that training. I don't have any of those expertise. I don't know how to, I don't have the infrastructure to do this, to create these good products well and do all of the products well. I just don't have it. So for me, it was, to work with a company like this, it was really great to get on board with it. And, so that's something that, it's taken a lot of pressure off of me to try to learn how to make compost. Well, I got to do this if I'm going to do regenerative farming. I don't. I just need to work with people who know how to do that. And I need to utilize that in a way that is going to be sensible for what I can afford and what is realistic for me to reach those goals. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working great. So anyway, if you are local to me, I do have those products. Or if you are not local to me, let me know if you're interested in learning about these products, because I can connect you with people that can help you or get you in alignment with this stuff. So anyway, there's that. One of the other things that I'm changing up this year is we have a really great forecast of warm weather in February, and they're single digits, which is very unusual for February. And I'm thinking, I'm really considering turning the heater on in my greenhouse to start planting. I did order a green stock, and just one. I'm just going to try one, and I'm going to plant that out in lettuce for my lettuce subscriptions. I have these tower gardens here in my basement. I'm going to hopefully be able to move them out once it stops freezing into my cold frame. So I do need to get that cleaned out while I'm seed starting and whatnot. So my lettuce subscription is a very big deal here locally. And I'm going to continue that. People do, lots of people do buy the microgreens because they are more sustainable to grow indoors. But there's a lot of people who don't like them, and they want a salad. They want substance. And so right now, I'm not really making a lot of profit off of my lettuce sales, simply because I just bought 2 tower gardens, right? And I did have a light problem with one of my tower gardens, and I had to wait for a replacement, which was great. They were able to send me a new piece of light. And I don't sell these. I'm not going to sell these. I just need them for my business. And so there's a lot of other people that sell tower gardens. You can go talk to them. I just picked a random person online that I could find, and I just ordered some up. And that's how I did it. But I should have probably asked around to see if there was any consultants around locally but I didn't know any. So that's how I roll, I guess. I just I don't have patience to ask around, and I should. But I kind of wanted to make sure I kept track of my goals, and I started to keep track of my flower farming goals, or homestead goals, farm goals. And the way I was doing that is seeing how much I'm able to sell as I go. And so, now that I have the soil in February here, I'm able to really up my sales a little bit more. And my goal is to sell enough soil so that the soil I bought in for the farm is not going to cost me anything. It's going to cross out that expense by what I've sold. So, if I brought in like $2,500 worth of product. If I sell, if I sell half of it, I'm able to mark that up, and I'm able to recuperate that cost, with a markup. So if I sell half of it, then it eliminates at markup, it eliminates my entire cost of using, bringing in compost and amendments and worm castings and fertilizer and everything. It eliminates my cost, and it does it quite rapid because I'm able to do that in about 6 weeks. So I'm assuming that I'm going to need to make another order next month for these products if I sell half of them and use the other half on my farm for planting. And it's pretty doable. I think that from how much interest I've had, I'm probably going to sell out very quickly. So, that's something to consider. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys some updates of what I'm doing and what changes I am making and why I'm not posting as much, because it's been nuts. Like, it's been busy. Okay, let's do a tour. I think that cucumber grew like a 1/4 inch since I've been sitting here. So the tower gardens, they were just harvested yesterday. So I harvested all of this yesterday, completely gone yesterday. And look at it. They're going crazy. I have a few things going on down here. That's a zucchini that is like it's a zucchini plant. Gotta find a home to put that. And then I have a jungle happening over here with some extras that need to get planted into something. Probably dry. It's bok choy. Seedlings, little baby eucalyptus. I don't know what I got going in here, but they're not germinated yet. Oh, I think it's pansies. We have pansies growing in here. Yep. Pansies, and then I don't know what this is. It's dry anyway. Oh, sweet peas. Sweet peas. Lysianthus. Lysianthus is going to town. I have 3 trays of them. Look at them. And then this is snapdragons, I believe. And then down here I have anemones. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700, 8, 900. 900 anemones. Woohoo, go anemone. Well, thank you for listening to my ramblings for today. I probably talk too much, as my husband says. You talk too much. That's what he usually says. But anyway, I will get back to work and I will see you guys soon. Hopefully, this was motivating in some way, or inspiring at least, to know that there's options, different ways to think of things, or different pathways that a person can go to be more sustainable and achieve your goals. So good luck with your adventures, or your homestead, your flower farm, whatever it is, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. By the way, I actually ordered another rack like that, and it's exactly the same dimension, so I'm just gonna add in more shelves like with that shelf so that I have more growing space, because I need more seeds, more plants, more seedlings. I need more. More is better. I think I need to stop watching Serena and Ian on You Can't Eat the Grass. I'm adapting their more attitude.